Henry County Commission, Henry County, Missouri, Thursday, May 22nd, 2025, 15th day of the April term. Henry County Commission met pursuant to adjournment at the courthouse in Clinton, Missouri. Those members present were Jim Stone, presiding commissioner, Mark Larson, North District Commissioner, Kelly Merritt, County Clerk. At 9 a.m., Commissioner Stone brought the meeting to order. The agenda was approved as presented. The minutes from the Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 meeting were read. Commissioner Larson made a motion to approve the minutes. Commissioner Stone seconded the motion. Motion carried. Expenditures from the following departments were approved to be paid: 27th Circuit Treatment Court, Tri-County Child Support, Victims Advocate, Court Administration, General County Government, Buildings and Grounds, Prosecuting Attorney, Law Enforcement, GR, Assessor, and Jury Pay. Mark Harden, Emergency Management Director, and Tiffany Decker attended the meeting to discuss outdoor warning siren protocol, generator installation and the timing of the installation, electrical work being done in the basement, and the meeting that is being held today with the companies that tested fly ash. Mark Harden shared an outdoor warning siren protocol. He stated that the outdoor sirens are not being tested as they should be by the entities that have them. Mark shared that Red Cross will be setting up in Benton County as Henry County does not have a recovery plan in place. Mark shared that last year Casinger was going to draw up a recovery plan for Henry County, and when Mark asked about the draft of the plan, Casinger informed them that they were told that was no longer something the county wanted to do and to not proceed. Mark asked commissioners if he could get a hold of Casinger and get the process started again. Debris removal was discussed. Emergency management office responsibilities were discussed. Commissioners received a call from Jerry Palmer regarding Senate Bill 190. He also questioned municipalities and their ordinances. Commissioners had discussion on who owns outdoor warning sirens. Commissioner Stone asked Chris Forsig, maintenance supervisor, to attend the meeting. Commissioners asked about the electrical breaker boxes that are being moved in the basement. Chris explained what was being done with the generator and the breaker boxes. There was a lot of discussion on replacing breaker boxes. At 10:49 a.m., Commissioner Larson made a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Stone seconded. Motion carried with a roll call vote. Larson, yes. Stone, yes. Bradley, absent.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded to approve minutes as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
That was the shortest minutes we'd had in a hot minute, you know?
Jake was gone. Whatever.
I've got that effect on things.
Jim, if you'll stamp those for me. I have a whole stack of things here that say, need Jake's attention.
Yes,
So,
Okay, let's make it happen.
we've been
Yeah.
waiting for you.
yes. Check and all.
Jim gave me this. This was last.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Not for dead people.
that's his, that blew his budget line.
Yes, it did.
We're gonna have to do an amendment to the coroner's line, which we knew that because of all the autopsies, but that one, that
Yeah.
bill finally blew it.
Did it?
Yeah, I know the top. That's number, along
The
in
last time we met with him, he was already at
High
his
County
limit.
Technologies.
Hmm.
High County.
Yeah, that's recorder of deeds. That's who they go
Oh,
through.
is that what they,
Mhm.
that's who they, I call it.
I'm gonna take care of these JP detention things real quick. Go ahead with your finish your checks. I'm just gonna give you notes while you look at those.
Go ahead, Kelly.
This is our BRO reimbursement. We pay Great River and then we request the reimbursement back from MoDOT.
Uh-huh.
So they didn't want to approve it until you had seen it because all three of you have to sign on that back page. And I don't think you guys even signed it till Jake was here, so.
Okay.
These were the
First one
letters
for us,
to,
right?
that one, sorry. That one and that one. To the people you guys appointed to the Senior Citizen Service Board. I just need to send them those letters with the
Okay.
official appointment if you guys will sign those.
Okay.
You'll have to pass it back to both of them because they didn't sign it until you were back, so.
Okay. You just want the paper? Or you want me to
Yeah,
sign the whole thing?
I think they've already looked at it. They already stamped the check and everything, so.
Okay.
These are for authorized representatives to buy from surplus property. This is for the sheriff's office. And they're just changing the people like it was Rick, and so they need you to sign and put your information.
Okay.
I don't know why they did it that way. This is what they had. This is changing things, so put your information and sign here.
Okay. Here you go, Jim. Send the rest of that with you.
Send that. Is everything got signed in there?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have to, it's done. Okay, done.
Is that one done?
Look at it, make sure we didn't miss
Yep.
anything.
You got it. Perfect.
I haven't figured your cell phone number.
Your cell phone number?
I haven't called myself.
Never call it.
Four nine two oh four four three.
Got it.
I'm just checking if I had it right. I usually call 2 or 3 phone calls before I get the right person.
That's those two people who voted on.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Ben Jeremy. He's no longer there. He's gone. History.
That's what that's doing, is
Yeah,
taking
and
him
he
off
came
the,
off the,
yeah.
We talked about that. What the hell?
where did it go?
Yeah. I've been working on that for Michael, just I haven't gotten any information. And I've been waiting to talk to that Brittany there at MoDOT, and I slipped my mind the last time she was at that
Is this
meeting.
all?
And being on attorney leave, I don't wanna bother her.
I got a big paper, 2 big,
Yeah.
1 big paper clip.
Kelly, do you want the
Yeah, I'll have to send him a copy.
card stuff?
Yeah.
Really had one of those grease things with that.
Jake, did your place have any damage from the storm?
We was right there on the line, took some limbs out in the timber, but no damage around the house or anything, so we got real lucky.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we wanna get in Senate Bill 190? Look over that. Have y'all got everything? Mark did. Senate Bill 190,
Oh, yeah.
have we got?
I mean, I just read it. I think it looks good.
I would like to have Rick, come up. I know there was something that they added to the application about the deeds. I just want him to explain,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
All right,
what they
okay.
added. So if we're gonna talk about that, I'd like to see if Rick would be available to come up, because
Okay.
he's the one that's gonna be.
See if him and Scott, probably.
Pull the application up.
Where'd she say that was at?
It's in various documents.
Thank you.
Section 1, wasn't it?
Hey,
Real
it's
estate,
Rick
Mark,
here
right?
today.
Other various documents.
Yeah, I don't really need to talk to him. Could you see if he's available to come up and talk to commissioners about Senate Bill 190 when he gets done? Thank you. He was helping somebody at the moment, so. Did you guys find the documents?
Yeah.
I think there was something else he wanted to add to the ordinance as well. We talked about last week, but I've slept since then. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Maybe it's the eligible here.
If you guys want a hard copy to look at so we can I can print one off real quick.
I was noticing on the videos that can't tell what the hell we're doing up here.
You can't hear. I've had probably 15 people get a hold of me
Oh, yeah?
that they cannot
But on the
hear.
live, we're testing new microphones tomorrow.
Or
See, I was able to hear
We're
okay,
looking at
some
We
these
gotta
kind.
softer.
We're looking at those kind.
these are fairly cheap.
But yes, that has been the biggest complaint I've also had, and
They got great cameras. I mean,
yeah.
the cameras are great.
But yeah, Chuck and I are scheduled tomorrow to come up and try some different microphones again, so
Okay.
we're trying.
Oh, I think it's great. I was just noticing if we could put some things that we're looking at on the TV so everybody can see it. I didn't know if that was possible or not. Might be a big stretch, I don't know. They might be asking too much too.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
That's okay.
Do you guys want a copy of that so you can make marks or notes, or I'm gonna print
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm.
Okay. So can I have the date?
Good morning, Rick.
Here's a copy of the draft ordinance that we have so far. I circled that because I haven't put that in there when we figure it out, but that'll get you started when they have questions anyways.
Alright.
Is this different than the one?
It just has the changes that we talked about, in the last meeting. The dates have been changed, so we wanna make sure those are correct.
Thank you, Kelly.
And this is the new application Rick came up with.
It's pretty much the exact same that Boone County is putting out, I just changed it. to make it our
Benton's?
own.
Benton?
Boom.
Oh, Boone County.
Yeah, they've got a team of attorneys that
Okay.
kind of went through there.
Mhm.
Thank you, Kelly.
I've seen a number of different applications and they're all pretty similar. So I think a lot of people are using Boone County's.
Yep.
Basically, I wanted to make sure I didn't mess up the dates and that's what we all agreed on.
Your last whereas, you need to say the 25 tax year.
Now where,
Oh, at the very, yeah,
the last
2025, we never, yeah,
Your last whereas,
yeah, should be 2025.
yeah.
Last whereas.
Is that where it says 2024 and then
Yep.
25?
Yep.
Okay.
Got it? That's why we're looking at them again.
in section 3, you have applications due by June 30th of the next year, and then Two more
Uh,
lines down, it says the taxpayer shall complete all sections of the form required prior to submitting to the collector on or before July 30th.
June 30th.
Should be, yeah, it needs to be the same date.
should what?
Which one did we decide on though? Because you guys were kind of back and
Yeah.
forth on.
The dates.
I think June 30th is when the deadline needs to be.
Okay,
That gives us plenty of time to go through them and mark them in the,
Then everything's, this is okay the way it is?
now we need to take that third dot, needs to be June 30th, the same as
and
the
needs to
top.
match the first one, I got it.
Okay. Instead of July 30th, June the 30th? Is that what?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we're
Okay,
looking at.
okay. Okay.
The only dates on there was that.
And section 5's got November 30th.
Yeah, that's a report that the statute requires the collector to send to the entities.
Okay.
Tell them what the card's gonna be.
But that date's still good?
Yeah, that's the statute, that's the statute.
Good morning.
Really?
Good night.
Good night. What was you and I talking about last week, Rick, that we needed to add in there? I said, I know we talked about something and I've been asleep since then.
What? Last week. I forgot we even did it.
We talked, excuse me, about.
I was like, oh, we need to get that in there. And I forgot.
Hmm? Oh, first part of it, last. There you go.
I thought I was hearing something.
I heard somebody say something, but I didn't see anybody talk to you.
Does it say in here that it applies
Yes.
to, everything but the blind pension fund?
I think that is referenced in here. Let me double check.
I don't remember seeing anything in that, on that.
Neither is that.
You know, about, that you're,
Residency, annual, the team, they want to, utility doors, voter registration. I'm just thinking of the driver's license doesn't prove Henry County residency.
well, your address should match your homestead.
You could change those. You know,
I mean, they're,
just
I thought that was.
yeah, but.
See, I don't remember
You
seeing
could
any-
have
reading anything on the
driver's licenses. don't have the right
applied
address.
pension fund.
Utility bill doesn't prove either.
You can't take that
You're
anyway.
just paying-
I don't think it's
I think
like-
that's what they was
I don't
saying.
think
can't-
it's spelled out in there. I think in the statute references
Yeah.
is where it's at.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can't take that at all anyway.
Right, I think they were just wanting to make sure that everybody knows that that can't be taken.
So it doesn't apply to the state levy.
Right.
It doesn't apply to debt service levies. It doesn't apply to new construction on the homestead would reset it.
Right.
And newly voted in levies resets it also.
It does?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? Because I thought it didn't, because otherwise how would you, if you stop it at whatever levy it is, if they come in and vote a new levy,
It freezes existing levies. But if it's a new levy voted in, that's not going to freeze.
see, because that almost contradicts
change.
itself. though.
Because
What's
you're
happening?
you're voting on a levy that they
What?
would be subject to pay.
There's nothing changed,
Oh,
Jim, but
okay.
there's discussion.
Okay.
Are you getting that out of the statute, or where are you?
That's also the trainings that I've been to.
That's what they said?
Yeah.
See that, because I mean, it doesn't make sense. If you stop somebody's levy at a certain point, and it's never gonna go up for any reason unless they vote in a new levy, then how did that stop it? Because it's 60, everybody else is just
There
gonna
was no
go.
levy to freeze in existence prior to the new levy getting voted in.
What about
if
the
the
levy that
county-
was there?
If you voted in a,
Say if the levy right now is 3%. So you put a freeze on that 3% for people 62. Then they come back in and they vote a levy and they want to raise it to 5%. That 5% should go to the people that are not in the 62, because this is froze. How do you raise something that's froze?
I don't think it would be unconstitutional for individuals to be able to vote on a tax and not be liable to pay it.
I mean, I see what I see what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out, because I mean, that seems like a huge loophole right there.
If they don't want to pay it, then they would vote against it and it wouldn't pass.
So then would they have to come back in?
It was a
And,
brand new levy. It wouldn't be subject to freezing.
so then by looking at it like that, then that really doesn't do anything with this, because all government would have to do is raise the levy, and this throws this out
If
completely.
it passes.
Yeah, yeah.
But there are limits within the statutes on what a levy could be set at.
Right.
You can't just.
Just willy-nilly.
Like even the townships can only go 35 cents. or
Yeah, something like that.
So they can't ask for 40. That would be an unconstitutional levy increase.
Right. But, and that side of it's not so, it's just the fact that you're able to basically dismiss this once you raise the levy, is what I'm talking
I
about.
don't think it's dismissing it. I mean, it has to be the vote of the people. I mean, they have to agree to pay the extra tax. and it's up to them.
And then they'd have to come in and reapply to,
No, they wouldn't have to, but.
It would just
it
go
would
to that, reset to what the
Yeah.
new levy is.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that totally dismisses this.
wouldn't that be beyond our control?
It's truly up to the residents of whatever that little area is that is
Mhm.
resetting the levy or trying to reset the levy.
If most of them are seniors, it'll float. If there's any young people,
You know,
then
most seniors vote.
Oh, yeah,
The biggest
Majority.
part of your voters are seniors, and I mean, if they felt it that important, they would support it.
I question that because, at the township meeting that we had, I told some of those townships, there is a special road and bridge levy that you can go after. And so, say that they do, it didn't exist before, right, at all. There was no tax levy, they've just now passed this special road and bridge tax levy. Well, those people that didn't have it are now going to have it. And so Rick and I got into that discussion because we do have a school who's put a tax levy on in August. So we were trying to figure out what that
Where
does
it's
to the
gonna stay.
freeze.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the question is,
And it's
this
for 2
year,
years.
this year at one level, and the next year a higher
Right.
rate. So if that passes, then those individuals would be subject to that higher rate. It's voted on by the people.
That's why I was questioning it, because it's a 2-year question and I know it's gonna affect.
and then you're gonna have everybody.
I don't know.
I think it needs to be spelled out in your ordinance too, so that when individuals question it, it'll be right there.
I think that's what we
Newly
were talking
enacted-
about.
Newly enacted levies voted on by the people would reset that base. And it doesn't happen that often. I mean,
No.
I think it's the Montrose School District that is asking for that, so it would affect just a small portion of individuals in the county. And every 4 years, that special road and bridge levy has to be reset. And there's nothing to stop some of these entities from resetting the ceiling, the tax rate ceiling, which would reset the base too. Because as time goes on, you set the levy at 35 cents, and then it gets reduced through the years due to you can only bring in so much money due to the Hancock Amendment.
Right.
But they could reset that ceiling. So in 10 years, it could go down to 25 cents. They could go to the vote and say, we need to reset that ceiling back to 35 cents. And then that would reset the base. So it's not a new levy, they're just resetting the ceiling. But it would all be supported by the people. I mean, it would have to pass by the voters for that to take effect.
So we need to add that
I-
explanation on
I
here.
think it would be best if you said that this tax freeze does not include the state levy. New construction would reset it.
See, I remember seeing that
Yeah,
one on
it
here.
says the new construction,
Mhm.
it's in there.
It's in there.
There was 4 points. One was the state levy, debt service, the new construction, and newly enacted levies. And I've seen an ordinance that outlines that. I can get that to you, so I'm not right.
I think the other thing that we discussed was, if somebody was deceased in the middle of their application process, how we was going to handle that.
That's a good question.
If there was an age gap marriage, and they had applied for it under the spouse who passed
that's right.
away. Well, they don't come in and change anything because they're not gonna be like, hey, raise my taxes, but they don't actually qualify from the time they applied to the time that taxes were collected. So it just it's something to think about. I mean, it's not
So
gonna
the
happen a lot.
senior is eligible while they're alive.
Yeah.
If you're married to someone that isn't eligible and you pass in that year, then your spouse, who may be 59, would have to pay the
Is not
reset
eligible.
tax because she's not eligible, he or she's not eligible.
So you gonna penalize me for killing off my wife?
Is she older?
It's on film.
Yeah. Wait till you're 62.
Look out, Debbie.
That was just something else that we thought about, that would muddy the waters, that there's no clarification of how we would handle that. What do
There'll
we
be a
do?
lot of little, there'll be several of them come up. That's just what'll happen. It'll be
I
a lot.
don't know how you could
I don't know what
do
you
that
do.
one unless you just catch it the next year, because you know that they had died, I
So
would think.
many different hoops that we have to jump through to figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And then if you have a couple married and say you're 65 and 62, or 65 and 59,
Mhm.
and then he passes away 3 or 4 years later and she is eligible, but she should be set at, her taxes should be set at the time she turned 62, not at the time that he was 65. So, hey, do that.
Also, what if you're a parent and you pass away and the land goes to your kid at that point and your kid's only like 27 and
Yeah.
then, you know, in the same tax year? These are just the things that we're thinking about. We need to know what we're gonna do
Then it's gonna
before we put
change.
something in place rather than, oh, now what do we do?
Yeah.
We get caught.
Yeah, and there hasn't been anybody probably faced any of these issues to have an answer yet.
I have not heard how those are being handled, but this is so new that
Right.
it may not have been an issue
Mhm.
yet. It's a data-driven statute or
Mhm.
ordinance. I'm gonna rely on the individual to be perfectly honest when they fill out the application. Not gonna be easy.
Okay.
I think what we do today will look a lot different than what will happen in 5 years.
I agree.
I think these will go to the courts and they'll decide how it's to be interpreted.
And then there'll be changes.
Rick, is there a dollar amount for the improvements or additions? We have to sign off here that we've not made any.
I think you just sign off that you've not made any improvements. And it's not talking about windows and it's talking about building a new room or.
Shouldn't there be some kind of dollar figure there maybe?
They probably think it matters.
You said 50% elsewhere in the ordinance.
Yeah, what exactly does that major remodeling mean on there? Major remodeling is defined as construction or modification that increases assessed valuation by 50%.
Yeah, and we've got no limit on this question on the form application. Just saying, have you made any improvements?
I think the new construction, there isn't a threshold. I mean, if you build an additional room on your home, and that's kind of the example that we've been using is of building a new room, but I don't think there should be any kind of a dollar threshold involved in that. Could be a heck of a remodel. would be increase it by 50%.
Yeah, heck of a remodel. But you know what?
Huge.
It may not be because some older house, you put a new remodel on it, it's gonna cost more than the house.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take that much either, really.
Cost us 12 grand to
When you
replace
look
all
at
the
it.
windows.
Yeah, I think that was maintenance, is what Scott classified.
I got 40 in my kitchen. I got over 40 in my kitchen.
We got the interior and we did a whole
Yeah,
lot.
Just
I mean,
that
you
front where you
that's
stand
what
that
I'm
deck
saying.
and stuff.
You gotta look at though, just like my house when I built onto it. You know, actually, it cost dang near what the house was.
Mm-hmm,
And I just put on so many
exactly.
feet, nothing like I did before. If I'd have went half of it, it'd been a lot more.
Well, also now, whatever you pay, I mean, if you paid, say, 20 years ago, you paid $150,000 for a house, put an addition onto it
Yeah.
and see if you don't
That's right.
spend what you just.
Yeah, I mean,
so
everything, I just don't know the answer of how you're gonna do all that.
It'd be tough to put a number to it though.
Yeah, and then how do you do it? Cause they're gonna want, well, this is what my house is worth.
Mm-hmm.
That's kinda go back to the,
That's where Scott steps in, right?
Yeah.
For the
Yeah,
50%.
it's reassessment.
yeah,
Sounds like we kinda got a good base here, but just gotta get the additions onto it and go forward, right?
I think so.
okay, on, I guess the big thing is,
Got another change.
Typo right there.
Okay.
I ask you,
Sorry?
is like farm equipment and everything like that, is that classified as business? Say it's a machine shed, is that classified as business or is that classified as home? Because a lot of them are within the 5 acres.
I don't
Bottom
think
page.
personal property is a part of it.
Huh?
Property, like a tractor and stuff, is not part of it. It could just be like, now
That's
the
why we
machine
keep looking at
shed.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Would that,
saying.
I would think that it would be as long as you didn't have a business and you weren't operating a
So
business
then
out of
that'd
it.
fall under your just home,
Yeah, yeah.
as far as like your house, really.
Say that's how they're running everything, is just off the homestead, it's 5 acres around the house, whether or not you have a machine
Yeah.
shed.
Well, see, they're just like some of the barns, all your barns now, are built more than what the house is worth. Really?
No?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And if it's on the 5 acres, which would be very possible, then I guess it'd fall under, then fall under your household.
I think so.
That'd be a big, yeah, I mean, several of them right now, within the 5 acres would be
Mhm.
classified as no, wouldn't
Isn't
be.
that spelled out in here? Didn't you guys already?
I think it is.
We're on that, yeah, but it's business or commercial use up to 5 acres,
The,
such as garages,
homestead.
sheds, or
Is
barns.
that what section 1 homestead?
Yeah.
First section. I don't know, just things come to mind. Swimming pools,
Sorry?
swimming pools, they count.
I don't know.
Rick, does swimming pools count? Does the house, this house, part of the household?
Rick says I hope not.
I'm not picking on you, Rick, I just happen to know several people that's got it. Huh? I mean, that's a
That
question.
sounds like questions for Scott, and I
I'm
thought he
saying-
already answered them. I mean, I thought he
Right.
was under the impression as long as they weren't running a business out of there.
Then it's all
You need to
covered.
ask
I
Scott,
think so.
not me.
I remember Scott talking about that. I can't exactly
Okay,
remember
if
what
you
he
put a new
said.
swimming pool in, then you wouldn't have to count.
He's not down there.
He's not?
No.
Is he gonna be in today?
Yeah, he was in earlier. He had to go get car keys. They lost a set of keys.
That's Scott.
I heard he was going after some more coffee or something.
You can decide that on here.
They might be lost that car. We don't know where they're at.
My, oh,
I made a new sign for the courthouse that says Scott's used car lot that we can put out there. 'Cause I think
yeah, I
four-
seen we got a van out there now.
4 or 5 of them are his.
Kelly, I'll
Alright.
find an ordinance that has those forward things on it and get to you. so you can
Okay.
get it in there.
And we can put it in here and reset. I did ask
Yeah,
Scott said he can be here in half an hour.
Maybe he had to get the keys made.
special key.
But I mean, it addresses that in that homestead portion up there.
Students that act out.
Okay.
And I think that's what that, the circuit breaker, I think that's what it includes as well. And that's why he said that would be the best because that's already a
Makes sense.
process that they
Right.
do.
All right.
So that's why he said what he said. Best I remember.
To count what?
Yeah, the way that it's in here.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm not gonna speak for Scott, he can speak for himself, that's just how I remember the conversation.
All right.
So your
Rick?
application is done.
I think so.
Yeah, that doesn't, I don't see.
It looks
anything wrong with
simple
that.
enough.
Yeah. Don't see that being, I think that's,
And these do have to be notarized.
yep. Notary public.
It looks
Well-
simple enough, it looks not.
I guess, why would you and your wife, well, never mind, answer my question. Okay.
Something to point out on Rick's application is they can't mail it in, they have to bring it in person so that they can verify who they
Mhm.
are. So-
Yep, yep.
Are there gonna be notary services at the county? So we don't have to go somewhere else?
Go somewhere or
No, they can,
here.
yeah, they can bring it in notarized, or you'll have some
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Do we have to make a motion or anything to use this? I mean, because if it's good, I
the
just,
application or
I
just,
yeah,
think
at
that I
least,
would-
at least that way we get
uh,
that
just,
out of the
let's wait
way.
till we get might as well get it all together.
Is there anything that would change the application if they change the ordinance at this point? That's my concern, is if we add things to the ordinance, will it change anything on this application?
No, because all the application does is just.
Yeah, set the-
Verify the eligibility.
That's it. If you don't do that, we can do it, I guess.
I don't think it
Separate
hurt a
it,
thing.
but it won't hurt anything.
That way we keep rolling and get this in and
Okay.
out. 'Cause
All right.
This,
Do I entertain a
this is
motion?
good for me.
I'll make a motion to accept the application, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'll second it.
Motion been made and seconded to accept the application, for the Senate Bill 190 or 77. Voice roll call.
Yes.
Mark? Okay,
Jake, yes.
Jim, yes. Motion carried. Okay.
That's good.
One down.
One step down,
There you go.
Sorry, good job.
Window needed?
and we need to add, got where he wants to add it? Or do I need to catch up with Rick later?
I'll try to find that for Ms. Russell that.
Okay,
Get that to you.
sounds
All
good.
right. Okey-doke.
No, Mark, he was way here before me.
I got all kinds of stuff.
So do I.
Okay, good. I was just trying to respect my elders.
What are you looking at her for?
I was looking at you. I'm going home.
Some tough time in.
I am. Whooping my butt.
Thank you.
Meeting last week, that's who was there. Just some quick notes.
Okay.
I'll do a more detailed email out to you all. The biggest part of the meeting was questions for Tech Lab. They were asking QC questions, items like that. The EPA is gonna go back out to Davis to do a detailed testing. They plan on having their results back by mid-July, so the school can make their decision if they're gonna hold school there next year or not. They're gonna do more testing on the fly ash. Everybody's gonna do some passive air monitoring at the plant now. EPA asked them to set that up. Those are probably the biggest things that come out of it. Human service, health and human services, senior services. They're gonna get with conservation to have conservation make the request for the testing of the fish. They said that is not a priority right now, the fish. They wanna get the testing done at the school in the fly ash pile. But then the EPA will do the fish also.
Do the fish.
But the request has to come in from conservation.
Mhm.
Overall, the big thing that they said, once all the results are back from the school and the fly ash, we'll set up another meeting like we did downstairs. Some results are above the screening levels. They've all decided that none of the results are near the action levels, so there's a big gap there. But I'll send you all an email with further notes.
Okay.
That's the general gist. We were down there for about an hour. So a little bit more testing, and then we're all gonna get back in the room together. Fish are gonna be tested, fly ash is gonna be tested, and they're gonna do more testing at the school. Questions, concerns about that?
Are they all gonna test the same? Because my understanding was that when they got to the lab, one tested this way, one tested this way, one tested this way, and now they're all trying to figure out why none of them match.
So that
So,
is correct. So the EPA, DNR, they test it one way, and then our lab tests it another way. So when we had our testing done, we were supposed to get the, level 4 results back, and our lab didn't do that. But we're gonna have them, they're doing it now, and we'll have it by the end of this week. So then ours will match with, everybody else has.
everybody else. Okay.
And they said that they'll have us, they were supposed to do that. It was in the contract, but they didn't. So
I just forgot it.
they'll have it back to us by this week, the end of this week.
Okay.
Sound good? Generators due to be 19th, they're gonna do the hookup on Juneteenth. Need to get with the gas company, get a meter set so that whenever they hook it up, we can go ahead and test it and make sure. So, I don't know who's getting with the gas company to get a meter. Is that
That-
maintenance?
Yeah, you need to
Chris.
talk to Chris, he's
Okay.
not here today, but that's who you need to talk to.
All right. I'm off next week. Subby's off this week. We're swapping the week. He's down there today, and he's taking off the rest of the week to work the radio station. And then I'm vacationing next week, just so y'all know. Osage Township, I'll reach out to them, but they need to, if they do any maintenance or anything that has to do with storm damage, they need to keep track of it. Highly likely will be declared a disaster, hopefully by the end of the day. Same for you.
I reached out to Osage and Osage Special and told them the same thing, keep track of everything. Leesville,
Leesville, yes, Leesville's the other one.
Leave that one here.
Bethlehem, had a lot of tree damage and stuff. I reached out to them and told them all to keep track of their stuff. So,
We should know.
And the roads, you tell them, make sure on them. There's not.
roads, in Leesville washed pretty good. A lot of gravel in the ditches and stuff, a lot of trees across the road. They're able to reclaim a lot of their rock and we was able to get the trees off the roads and everything like last week. But otherwise,
Bethlehem's got some roads that's got, well, just no gravel there, but anyway, it's ruts now, or another ditch.
but I've told them all to keep track of their hours, their motor grader hours. And if they wanted to send them to me and pictures and everything, I would make sure I got them to Mark, because, you gotta code out everybody's time, and then you gotta code out what equipment was used and everything, so, I got all the codes and everything at the office, so it's better if they just send me the pictures and, the hours and stuff that they got for everybody, that I can put it on a timesheet for that township, print out the pictures and just hand it to Mark at one time.
Yeah, hours, equipment hours, man hours,
Mhm.
that all counts. Once we are declared a disaster, that's gonna open funding for sirens and shelters. So, once that happens, we're gonna get the ball rolling on storm shelters. We already got a bunch of quotes that WS. We'll be bringing something before y'all on storm shelters. Questions for us? All right. Anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir.
Pay respect to my elders.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Okay. Dennis.
First of all, I just received a letter from a lawyer, putting the county on notice. So it has to do with, 1051, Southeast 1051 Road in Leesville, which is the Rock Quarry Road. Some guy that's hauling hot mix out of there has damaged his truck, and at this time, he's not seeking legal action, but if there's any more damage caused to his truck, he's gonna seek legal action against the county. So you guys need to, I don't know who wants this, but you guys need to, send the attorney back a letter stating that, it's township-based government and they need to go through the township first. And I've made the township aware of the roughness of the road, and they bladed it 2 or 3 times, but
They was,
with as many asphalt trucks coming and going and stuff, it's just keeping that road tore up daily.
should we have do we have speed limit signs on that road?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
They talking about the gravel part, or they talking about?
It does not say
Hmm.
in the letter that I just gave you.
Okay. See, I've been in talks with Ryan and all of them over there, and they got a plan for smoothing out the,
Good, road.
well, hopefully. I think it'll work, it just takes some time.
So
Okay.
I don't know if you guys want to have the county's attorney to send them a letter saying that this is a township-based government and they need to go through the township before they even come to the county, or what, but I don't think we need to be put on notice because it ain't our, I mean, it is our route, but it ain't our route.
Right. Guess that'd be a question.
How often,
Nice.
is it going bad? I mean, if they're great, if
They
they're great,
need,
two or
they
three times.
grade it on a regular basis, like once every month or something like that, and it helps, but you got asphalt sections, gravel sections, asphalt section, gravel section, and you can go out there and gravel blade the gravel areas, but then big potholes and stuff in the asphalt sections.
Who asphalted it? And why?
Back in 1902, when the first rock quarry went in, it was part of the agreement, so I've been told. When the very first rock quarry went in back there, before it was even Hilty's, it was told to the people that lived along the road there that they would keep that road hot mixed. They hot mixed it, and they poorly kept it up after it's changed hands, and transferred on down to other companies. Nobody cares about the road, and basically it's turned it over to the county. But
Would it be cheaper to get rid of the asphalt? And
Yeah.
take it all back to gravel?
grind it all up and turn it all back to gravel, and you'll be done. But the bad thing of it is, the people along that road's gonna throw a fit, because they've been
Yes.
promised for 1900 years that it's gonna remain an asphalt road.
Yeah.
And townships does not have money to keep that as an asphalt road.
No, they-
See, and that was my other question, is that
They wouldn't
the
be able to afford
townships are not gonna have enough money
yeah.
to keep, I mean,
Yeah,
unless
it
they
would
got a whole lot
bankrupt
of
them.
money,
Yeah.
even to just keep grading it continually. So my next question is, maybe this is ignorance on my side of it. It seems like if you have a business that is tearing up property, which if that's their asphalt trucks, that belongs to them, can we do something as a county to write something, whatever, to say, you tear this road up more than the average use, you get to pay to fix it, instead of putting that on the county or putting it on the township.
Well, that's gonna go back to Capital, because they're the ones that own the rock quarry back there. And I don't know if you can do that or not. You'd have to consult the lawyer to see if something like that can be done. I have no idea.
Sooner or later, you're gonna have to do something.
I mean,
Because we're not gonna have enough money to keep grading it, and,
With the business back there, that type of business, you have a heavy amount of heavy traffic
Right.
on that road.
right,
And it's above just normal driving out here on these county
Right,
roads
right.
and stuff.
What if the township passed the ordinance,
ordinance,
special road tax?
there you go, there you go,
And then you got something to stand up with
right.
if the township doesn't.
Well, either that or charge them.
Well, that,
Put-
my
put-
main
put-
thing
put it-
is
put
make
it-
it large enough that it's a special tax that takes care of that road because of it. And
That would
You gonna
make
tax
it-
the entire township?
No, you just,
No.
no, you just
to
tax,
that company,
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
put that company
Yeah.
on the call right there.
Right, cause that would
That's-
bring
that would
money in to
bring-
take care of
That
it.
would bring money right in to take care of it.
That's what I was.
That's my thoughts. But it kind of falls back some of the things we're talking about this Senate Bill 190. If
Did you
the
find some extra
county
money out there for me?
township votes it in,
No.
then it'd have to be in.
What's
If
the
it was
special
written
tax we're talking
and
about?
I
the
don't
township
know.
voted on it, and they can get that in, I probably can't get it in. I don't know. Wouldn't be the next.
Do they already have a
person.
special road tax for
Do
that
they?
road?
I don't know. Baseball has-
What town, that'd be Leesville Township?
No,
It's
because they don't
Leesville
vote on it.
Township.
every-
Leesville?
No,
Okay.
they
They
don't.
could even write an ordinance for them hauling out of there.
Yeah.
Put a tax on whatever truck goes in and out.
Right,
If there's 100 of them that goes in, all 100 of them get taxed
so much.
so
I-
much.
I think
that
that
would pay for
townships are, they just can't pass any ordinance that, I mean, there are rules that, we actually just looked into this because somebody was wanting to put a
Old speed
no
bump?
through trucks, is that what it was? No commercial trucks?
No, they're
No,
on
no.
on 300 or whatever that road is there by the water tower.
and they
Yes.
just don't have the
Oh, I
authority
thought
to
you were
just
getting ready to
pass
talk
an
about Booth
ordinance.
Road, but yes.
So it would have to be the county.
So,
It would have to
They're
be.
wanting
I'm not
no
sure.
commercial vehicles on, and townships cannot just pass taxes or ordinances and stuff like that, just like,
They would definitely have to consult an attorney before doing so. That's all I'm gonna say, because
I
they just
see.
can't, we looked.
in regards to this, noise ordinance out there in Piper.
Mhm.
The K&18 intersection in Walker Township, where somebody was complaining about the noise ordinance or noise out there, and they was wanting, anyway, I contacted the township. Township said that they would seek legal action to see what they needed to pass in ordinance wise, to do it or whatever. And at the same time, I emailed MoDOT to see what they needed from us to get this in action. And MoDOT responded back that it can't happen.
Yeah.
And that's the letter, unless it's a corporated village or town,
Right.
they cannot pass ordinances. They cannot pass an ordinance that cannot be enforceable. In other words, if you're not gonna put a cop out there 24/7, it's an unenforceable ordinance. So therefore, MoDOT would not allow the signs to go up. And if they did meet all the requirements, the township has to pay for all the signs, all the posts and all the installation. And it has to be put up in breakaway post form. That way, if somebody hits it or whatever, the post
All
will
of them
break
actually
away.
know.
So the townships can't, but the county can.
It's not forcible.
And the
It's
county can't just pass ordinances either, just to pass like the burn ordinance.
Yep.
Right.
When we were doing it, it wasn't a legal binding thing
Nope.
because we didn't,
Follow the,
it's not enforceable,
No.
again. So, no, the county doesn't have just ordinance passing power either. It's definitely something you would have
it's
to,
like a burn order,
yeah,
but we can have an ordinance, but then it still has to be notified by the state fire marshal first.
well, that changed now. the
And
burn
Even,
ordinance.
even if it was, if the county would pass it and the township would pass an ordinance, it's not an incorporated town or village. So therefore, if it's not an incorporated town or village, you cannot pass this ordinance in that way, is how I read that letter.
Excuse me.
Well, I'm not sure 100% with that.
So unless they got
It's basically, this is saying that the township doesn't have the authority to write an ordinance. A county does have the authority to write
On
an
certain
ordinance.
things, on certain things.
Pretty much, they're the governing body of the county, which allows them to write an ordinance. Now, it may get fought, but the county, the government can write an ordinance. Now, the part capability to enforce, that would be the sheriff's. That's the second one. And then they need maintenance staff to install and maintain the signs because MoDOT says they won't do it.
Mhm.
So Road and Bridge could put the signs up.
Do what?
Road and Bridge could put the signs up. I knew you didn't want to hear that, but I mean,
I don't know.
there's other people that have done stuff like this.
I don't know
I don't
if-
understand. I mean, I get what you're saying here. I do, and I don't know anything about the burn ordinance or anything like that. All I know is if you write an ordinance, it is an ordinance. There's a reason behind it, and it's just a question of whether or not you're willing to enforce that ordinance. I mean, and if you're not going to enforce it, then don't waste your time writing it.
Exactly. And I understand the sheriff would have to enforce it, and that Road and Bridge would have to put up the signs and maintain them and stuff. I copy all that. The only thing I don't think that
Yeah.
the county or the
Yeah.
township would have a leg to stand on is because that area is not an incorporated village or town. It's not recognized as in the state register as a village or a
Right.
town.
But it is part of the county.
I would
I mean,
have,
how do-
I would
how
have
do you
to
write an
ask
ordinance?
clarification before I would go out and throw it. I mean, I can email them back and ask, okay, can the county do this?
Yeah.
And see what they respond back with.
I mean, because it sounds like in order to write an ordinance, you have to meet certain requirements or whatnot. And I'm somewhat with that, but if they wanted to come in and put a, say a dump out here in the county someplace and open up a dump site, and the people didn't want it, and we wrote an ordinance that they couldn't do that, they can't do it.
I
I mean,
understand.
it's not like, well, yeah, you just gotta enforce it. Well, yeah, you have to enforce, anything you do, you gotta enforce. I mean, I get that side of it. It's, I guess it's a question of what, if the,
I think we need to talk to a lawyer if we're gonna get this deep into it.
and that may not be a bad idea.
We need to.
I mean, and I'm good with any way they go. I mean, I can reach back out to MoDOT and say, okay, if the county passes an ordinance, can we have these signs put up and go that way and see what they say?
Right.
And then if they say, yes, you can, then the next step would be to get the lawyer involved and have him write up an ordinance to specify that, but
Did they talk to a lawyer? Cause I thought he said he was gonna get in touch.
the township is gonna talk to their lawyer.
Okay,
And they was gonna have a meeting, I think, next week. But I need to basically tell her to put the brakes on her talking to her lawyer to save her the money because it ain't gonna do any good.
right,
I mean, the next step would be to contact them back and say, okay, can the county
Can the
pass an
county-
ordinance and get these signs put up? And if we have the sheriff's department enforce it when they're in the area and bridge department maintain them and stuff, is this something feasible that we can work around? Or, and I don't know. Or do we have multiple people complaining about this, or do we have just
just
one?
one, yeah.
So there again, when he moved into that area, or she, they knew that they had the stop signs there, and they knew these trucks had Jake brakes on them and stuff, and they probably at the time didn't think it would be a problem, but now it's become a problem. But has it become a big enough problem to become a county problem?
Right.
So, I mean, but I can follow up with MoDOT.
Got the three.
I'll follow up with MoDOT and report back to you Thursday on what I find out from them. And then you guys can make the decision if you guys want to, if we have room, foot to stand on, if we want to move it on down to the lawyer or what.
Sounds good. Let's do that.
So, I got my load of 6-inch channel in today. This morning it was delivered. So, we're just waiting for our beams and then we can start building bridges again. So, anything from you, Mark? Jake?
No.
Jim? Boss lady?
You want that back?
No, I got a copy of it at my,
Okay.
but on this deal here, you guys need to act one way or another on that in a timely fashion, I feel like. I mean, if we're gonna send it to the lawyer and have the lawyer, respond back to them, and just say, hey, this is the township-based government, you need to go to the township first. I don't know. I just don't want my name in the lawsuit. Do what, Charlie? That's good.
It's
Well,
a-
we-
Do I need
If-
to sign that?
Yeah, if you're gonna speak, yeah, you have to. If we're considered a municipality, which we are, then I think you can, but I don't know if you can I don't know how you can section it off, you know, it's,
Oh,
what's
right,
good for
that's
the
fine.
goose is good for the gander kind of
Mhm.
situation
Right,
on a noise
right.
limit
Well,
That would be
situation.
the lawyer side of it.
So.
Yeah.
I was just kind of digging around to see if I could find anything.
I
Yeah,
think that's a
definitely.
good idea though, Jim.
Huh?
I think that's a good idea though, for that driving in and out, tearing those roads up.
Yeah,
Put some kind of a,
some kind of tax on it.
Tax on it
Just
to
for
where-
that.
yeah, that way it'll at least help out
You
the,
need some way of getting it back. I just don't know, and I can tell you what my personal thoughts are. I think we need to conduct, and Ivan would know about state statutes and county
Mhm.
pulling the cover.
Mhm.
That's who, he's probably the most expertise and know what we can do and what we couldn't do. That'd be my opinion.
right,
That's what I normally do, but don't know what y'all wanna do and call it.
No, I think that'd be a good
That's what
idea.
we're
well, I
gonna
think
need
it'd be a
to
good
do.
idea to talk.
That
about
way,
it for that,
then
so
we'll
they
know which way to
For
head.
sure, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
This is in charge of waters for all
cause
of us, I
that,
mean.
that gets in, when you get into attorney stuff, you better know what you're talking about. I'd ask her, Tricia, but I doubt if she really knows about chemical stuff, or she knows about some of it,
Not
but
the-
she's more criminal.
right.
And I appreciate what she's doing there, so I don't wanna say anything there, so. If we wanna do that, but sure, we'll go ahead and get Charlie and then, cause we need to go in closed session
Close
for him.
session, yeah.
Okay, Charlie?
Dennis put up a sign down there, a private sign. It's supposed to be 3/10. Yeah, I don't know what measuring stick he used, but he's definitely way off. It's supposed to go to that white post. It's about 2.6 or something like that where he drove the post. Until that changes, he needs to change that up to 3/10. That's not good.
You look at the road inventory, the road inventory has us going down 0.25, which is a quarter of a mile, which is about where the sign is.
No,
Because you just said it was 2.6 tenths,
it's 3/10. Dennis,
not according to my road inventory.
I don't know where you can put it.
And that's put out there by the state.
That works.
All the legality, we went through the court and everything. We're supposed to maintain 2/10, you all maintain 3/10. Go back and look.
I wasn't employed at that time with the county. All I'm going off is the road inventory as of today.
What's the most current version?
Okay, what road is it here?
The one you give me.
Is that like 12 or something?
Hey,
Yeah.
Dennis?
I would really like to
Come
get a
here.
new one of those.
So mine's 2021 on it.
Who should I contact?
What's the road in?
Four.
You probably know the where to find it.
I can tell you're talking, but I can't understand it. No, you're just gonna have to get your ducks lined up, get your wire down. So you need to get, you'll find that.
North, northeast?
Oh, that's northeast.
Yeah, go to, we'll go to.
Let me get over here.
Just digging for text.
You know what road number that is out there?
It's Division.
Division Road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's got a number.
That's just something they're talking about. At least last week they were talking about who's responsible for that. The county's not. They don't know.
I don't see it on yours, Jim.
Yeah, it should be on there. It's on there somewhere.
Can I put it
I
over?
found it too.
Yeah.
So what's Division Road? What's the road? Or forget.
1001.
It's 1001.
Nobody's- Chiefs.
He's got an updated one than we do, Kelly.
More updated than you do?
His is 2021.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I need that.
You're the first.
One on the internet.
Rick did.
One on.
Well, if Rick is Rick, not Kelly.
10, what is it? 10,
1001.
no.
That's not the latest one
That's
Kelly
gonna be a
had.
breath.
Because there's two pieces to it. Oh, same.
I just let it play out. Kind of force it.
Hell, it ain't even on your inventory, I don't think, Jim.
Yeah,
What about this?
yeah, it's good. It's supposed to be. 10, you got it?
I got 1051,
Just say-
northeast 1051.
Yeah.
It'd be northwest.
On the map it said, showed northeast. I think it,
It's that pre-911 address change.
Hell, it might not even be on the road inventory anymore, because it ain't on yours.
this is northwest. Says here.
Northwest 1001, here you go. Route 7, go north. Here's one part of it. There's 1001 northwest.
1001 through Glen. Goes from Route 7, go north to dead end. That's up off of 7 Highway. We're coming off 18 Highway.
All right, we need 18.
Should be on the very first page, Jim.
Oh, okay.
See here, northwest. 7, Division Road, here you go. There it is. Northwest 1001, 2.3. Length 2.3. Division to dead end.
You're on 1001 Rose. You go from Northwest Division, go north to dead end. That's not it
Oh,
either.
that ain't that. What is it? Oh, you go,
See, it's not on this road inventory at all, because it should be Division Road from 1001 east to 2.5 miles is what mine has on it. So MoDOT's even taking it off their road inventory here.
You can take your-
So MoDOT's saying
Sure,
that,
it's not right here, the southeast. 901 go
nope,
east.
that's
Dead end road.
901, that's south.
I don't think,
Okay.
So MoDOT's completely taking that road completely off their road inventory. So we're not getting nothing off of it now.
That ain't good.
So therefore, my main, according to this road inventory, which is 21, mine was 2012, I think it was.
Oh,
In
that's the last one I
2012, it
had.
shows us going down 2.25 miles, which is a quarter of a mile. But according to MoDOT, they've completely taken it off their road inventory, so therefore,
this is
from
95.
division down is no longer maintained by the county, and we need to pull those signs and move the private
Here's-
sign all the way back up
This
there
is
to the
February
intersection.
22nd.
Why didn't MoDOT take it?
Yeah, I don't have that
Do
one.
what?
No.
Why
No.
MoDOT take it off the inventory list, you know?
When they come out and done their road inventory, they said,
If I
this
get my
dead end
battery
road
on
is
this,
no longer
yeah.
maintainable.
I think I've got it in it.
I don't know why MoDOT does it, but that.
Who does it come from?
That's what
I
we're
would love
following
to
at.
see
This
like
came
a
back from
25 version.
From y'all down there.
No, we did not compile that.
No.
Who at MoDOT do I get this from?
Well, it used to be,
Don't look at me.
Julie.
Anybody?
Zebra, Julie.
I'll reach out to Zach
I just wanna
today.
see
Call
if
Zach.
there's
Zach
any
I'll
road
reach out to
inventory.
Zach today and
Zach's
say
seen one.
where I can get the
Yeah.
most current road
Yes,
inventory.
please.
There you go.
Because
This is the
Theirs
latest one I've got.
it's showing totally different than what ours shows.
And this one, the same as that.
That's the same as this one.
Yeah. same
And they're
as that.
showing that
Well, I got it off of Teams.
Jake's
Come off Teams. He's got.
Jake's and yours is showing
Oh, it
that
did.
that road is no longer on road inventory, so we no longer maintain it.
It is on
It's
I'm
what?
just saying what I
It's on
got.
Teams.
Let's
I
find,
think
let's,
there's a newer one than 21.
yeah, let's get a current one before we
That's 4 years old.
start taking shit.
I'll reach out to Zach today and see where we're at on
You think
this.
there's a new one than that?
Okay.
I'll
I do have
send
a
this one
question
to
for
you
you.
in the meantime.
Osage
The
is a
same
special
that.
event.
The same one I've got.
Kelly, if they get
Anything I
you
can do to
work,
help
Uh,
you guys
send it
out?
to
Do
me.
you need
Yeah.
anything? No, you
Our
don't.
work is basically done.
Okay.
Their work is basically just getting the roads bladed back up into shape. And Bethlehem and Leesville, I think, has theirs done. I'm not sure. Osage, when I talked to Lester last week, he said that they should have theirs back all up and done. They was waiting on moving a few trees to the power company, cleared the trees out of the power lines.
Okay.
Otherwise, they would have them cleared and everything done. But I think it's
I say it
just,
sounds like everybody's pretty well
it's
jumped in.
basically, everybody jumped in, helped everybody get cleaned up. It's just basically now waiting to see whose insurance
roads.
company's gonna cover what and what state's gonna step in and help out with and stuff like that.
Well, they're not done blading roads, getting that cleaned up.
Do what?
Getting the roads cleaned up, the ditches.
I was asking him
Culverts.
about Osage and all that, if there's anything
Yeah.
need me to
Yeah.
do, and Dennis was telling me everything that they're in the process of finishing up and all that.
Clean up.
So, I will reach out to Zach today and find out if there's a more current than that. And then if there's not, you guys are gonna have to make a decision Thursday of how we're gonna handle this road.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's on my 2012 that we take care of 0.25 miles, which is a quarter of a mile, which is basically where I put my sign. But now, if they've taken it off the road deal and we're no longer getting tax money on that road at all, then we need to pull that sign, bring it up to the corner and just, that's no longer a county road.
Well, let's find out the rest of it.
Yeah, just
All
get the
the
most
information
current.
first.
Yes.
We will go off whatever the most current road inventory is
That's all we
that
used to
MoDOT
always do.
has. And I
Whatever
mean,
the current
that's
road is.
So, I
what we
mean-
need to do.
One step at a time, let's check into getting the most current inventory and go from there.
Yep, all right. How do we get the current road inventory?
Best we can.
How are you today?
It's fine, how you doing today, sir?
I don't know how I have 21 on there, and Dennis and I have been looking at a 2012 version.
Anything disruptive?
Hey,
Just like
is this a work? You need to talk to Rick.
Well, he didn't put it on Teams.
Oh, yeah?
That would have been me that put it on Teams.
I thought you
Sorry,
usually
Kelly,
put
I
all
thought
this
you
stuff
knew
on
that,
there.
or otherwise I'd have been a little more discreet with my,
No, Dennis and I have been working off these sheets from 2012.
No wonder
Because I
y'all,
just-
no wonder you're so far out of whack. Well, see, hey, and this is what you've got on Teams,
I know, that's what I said.
and you already have it. You're the one sent it.
Well, I've been trying to find a new version since then
Oh,
because
yeah.
Bear Creek's come to me with some questions. So I've been trying to find something newer than 2012. Who knew I put it right there on Teams?
Ah, okay. What was we gonna ask Scott? We got in here. And then
Probably about what all he's gonna assess
forgot
on
what
how
it
he's
was.
gonna assess it, but we kinda answered those questions.
Yeah,
We have a new draft of the ordinance. Would you
good.
like to see that?
Please.
Thank you.
Is that all?
That's where we're going to start.
I'll be right back.
does,
Well, we fixed some dates since that as well, so.
Is that the basic things that you changed?
There's a typo.
Yes, some typos, some date changes.
It said July, it should be June.
You'll see. The question that I recall that they were having was, is the 5 acre, what that included, what you were planning to? They wanted clarification
everything
on
in the
that, am I
5
correct?
Okay, what we count on the 5 acres currently for the PTC, property tax credit, or the
yeah,
circuit rate,
all right,
is the house and up to 5 acres, any personal structure. If they have like a detached garage, you're good to go. If it's like a huge barn and
yeah.
something that is for the rest of the farm, that's generally not it, but it's generally it's the house and 5 acres. And that's.
It's not, the barn won't be
The
included.
barn won't be,
How about a swimming pool?
yeah,
It's included.
sure. And the patios and the deck and all that stuff surrounding the house. I
They're
mean,
all,
it's basically what you would find in a neighborhood. I mean, and we can apply that up to 5 acres of land out in the county. That's,
all right,
and it's up to 5 acres in town, which mine is that.
yeah,
So, as long as it's like that, that just makes it a whole lot easier because it's
Okay.
the same. And it's,
that's what.
we
I'm
don't have to
asking.
keep 3 different sets of books instead of
Okay.
just 2.
All right,
But other than that, I mean, I kind of read over what some of the changes that Rick had made, and as long as that's there, I don't. I just want to be able to tell the people that it's done, because they call daily, many people daily.
Well, they approved the application today. Rick's downstairs looking for a section that we need to add in here.
And then whenever he gets done with that,
then
I'll
we
be
should
able to look at, Brett and Kyle can look at the software side and be able to make sure the software is gonna do what we both needed to do.
okay,
So I mean, yes, for me, it's very difficult, I couldn't do it, but for those guys, I mean, it should be,
fairly.
I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what I think, but I think it should be fairly simple.
So if you look at section 1, letter D, underneath that where it defines a homestead, and make sure that that matches up with what you have actually said here, I think was where we were at. We wanted to make sure that that is what you intended and that that makes sense.
What section?
Section 1, just
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
D, it says homestead.
Instead,
Yep, that was it.
I would make it say all non-commercial residential.
All non-commercial?
It says non-commercial when they're already, but then I would
Yeah.
also make it residential.
Including the dwelling, all non-commercial, where it says accessory, you want it to say residential?
All non-commercial. It needs to be all non, because I want it to be all non-commercial,
Commercial?
residential,
And
non-commercial residential.
then
So if they
how
have,
about
if they have
only
it. if they
residential?
happen to have
Non-commercial,
a-
common
commercial,
residential.
only residential, because you're looking to just pin it
Yes,
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have and they don't right now, but if they have, on their 5 acres, they have an apartment building or a duplex, it also shares that, that's not what it's for. It has to be just that structure, and that's their primary residence. I don't care which way it goes, but it has to be that way if we want it to be the same as the PTC.
It does say properties with business or commercial use located within the homestead boundaries shall be excluded from the tax
Okay.
credit to the extent of the commercial portion as determined by the
Okay.
county assessor.
That's fine.
Does that cover what you just said?
Yes. And it's just a lot easier to do the 5 acres. I know that, I mean, I even know that out in the, especially out in the county, there's homes that their house is built on an acre, but we do it up to 5. That's just the way we've,
Yeah.
used to be 3, and now it's 5. And it really, everybody says, well, it would be cheaper because we only use 1 acre of land for my house. The rest of this, yeah, well, all of that 1 acre or the 5 acres is front loaded with the cost for septic, sewer, water, electric, all those items are front loaded into the first acre. So really, if we do it as 5, it ends up being less expensive for the taxpayer in the long run, because all of that's front loaded to 1 acre, and if we use 5, then those 4 acres get peeled off of ag and put in, included in that acreage, which, but yes, that would be, that is the only issue that I have with any of it. And again, I don't have an issue with it, period, as long as it's, I mean, even if it's not the same, I don't have an issue with it.
But it does fall the same
Yes.
as your, that's what, I
Yes.
think that's what they were shooting for, was
Yes.
trying not to make it more difficult.
Yeah, just make it
to
easy.
exclude it.
That's not, because you're gonna have them questions come up.
And I know that that's probably a little bit more lenient than some counties. But that, I mean, I think that's the spirit of what the issue, the whole statute was, is for somebody with a house and up to 5 acres to be able to get that frozen. So even if it's a little better, I think we're better to side with the taxpayers than we are.
I agree.
Other than that, it looked pretty good. I'm glad you got the application all pinned down, or at least mostly pinned down.
It is
done. It's
It
done.
is done and approved. So our next step is to
Get
pass
this
the
one.
ordinance, and then Rick can start, and you guys can start figuring out how you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Well, then we can just get on the list to get this
Sure.
software done.
okay, all right.
I'm already on the list for several things with them
So
already, so.
when Rick brings me or sends me the changes to the ordinance that he wants, I'll make sure I send a final copy to all of you guys.
Perfect.
And then maybe we can address this Thursday,
Mhm.
hopefully for
done.
a final time.
Be great.
You know, I still don't know how it's all gonna work on Rick's side, but I'm not worried about that.
He just wants to start learning the application process right now more than anything. And of course, I offered, we would help that first influx of applications. We'll help do whatever we can.
Impact notices go out probably the last part of this week. So, you think you've heard a lot on yellow cards, you're gonna hear a lot coming up, so just put it right here, tell them, get a hold of them. You know, we're not infallible. Some of them are, I mean, generally they're right, and we're still a little bit low, but there's gonna be some of them that are, just by adjusting the formula, they're gonna be probably a little bit too high, and we're gonna work with everybody to make sure that gets all taken care of as best we can. I mean, Kelly's tripled, but that's,
It's part of it.
and you're on the list next month. State Tax Commission, you,
Me?
yeah, since you're the clerk now. That came from Tammy at the State Tax Commission. She got notice that you were no longer interim, you were the collector, so you're on her list to review.
Yep.
Clark.
Clerk.
Yep.
You want to be assessor?
No.
Most of the time, neither do I.
State's easier to deal with than assessor.
Especially not next week after those impact notices go out.
Kelly, I'd rather deal
All the way
with it.
through July the 23rd or whatever it is.
I just have all phones ring to Scott's office.
And
Yeah.
And y'all have them, and I know you do too. And I know that this is gonna sound strange. Don't hesitate to give people my cell phone number. I mean, I get them all the time. It's a lot easier for me to deal with them right away than have to call back
thumbs getting mad stew on it.
Yeah, I mean, even when the cards came out, that first
Oh.
2 weekends, I came in on Saturday and returned calls for several hours on Saturdays, just because it's a lot easier to handle it when they come in than,
Mhm.
like you said, let them stew for a while
That's right.
and talk to their friends.
Hey Kelly, it's still better to deal with state than it is assessor. The state was easier to talk to.
Jeez. If you have any questions, go
Bye,
ahead.
Scott.
bye Scott.
This one is the former one. We're gonna do that so you don't get
What?
confused.
All right, I kept.
That's your
this is-
most current.
Yep, right here.
That's the one that we
This
did
is the one
last
we're
week.
looking at. Okay, and then here's a done deal.
Yeah, yeah. Still don't have payroll, so we can't adjourn yet
All right.
if we're done, but,
I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Oh, we're gonna call. We better check on it. Yeah, I want to call Dave. I think that's done.
I've been looking into like the ordinance stuff, just because there's been so many times that it's been questioned recently. And the reason I brought up the burn ban is because, and it's been changed, previously the commission would pass a burn ban. But there was no statute authority to make that enforceable. So they could pass it all they want, but the statute didn't give them authority to enforce that burn ban. So if the statutes don't give law enforcement the authority to do whatever with whatever ordinance you pass, then it's a new ordinance and nothing can be done. So that's why I've been looking into them, because we had one that wanted that no commercial truck ordinance to go through. Well, who has the authority to enforce that? So, no, thank you, I'm tapped out. What are we doing?
Well, I guess we'll call Ivan.
We ready for that? Everything else is handled, right? I'm making you still good with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Make a motion to go into closed session.
I'll second it.
Motion been made, second, go in closed session. Call Ivan. Voice roll call, Mark,
Yes.
Jake,
Just,
Jim,
yes.
Motion carried.